Hello, dear students. My name is Hannah, your foreign language teacher. Welcome to the fifth chapter of our series Talk Like a Novel. Today, I have three new words for you: bolt, trip, and talk. Now, let's look at the part of Shirley Jackson's novel The Sundial, where these words are mentioned, and then I will show you how you can use them in everyday life by giving some simple sentences, and we are going to elaborate on their meanings a bit more, inshallah. In this part of the story, there is a mystery which is actually not uncovered throughout the book, and it is left to the reader's imagination. The thing is, the people of a big house find Mrs. Halloran at the bottom of the stairs. Apparently she has fallen down. Some thought that poor Mrs. Halloran, she was always so careful about her footing. It was just an accident, and this accident resulted from her own clumsiness. But others think that it was actually intentional and somebody intentionally pushed her down the stairs. One of the people who believed that this was intentional was Mrs. Willow, and she remarked, "Live by the sword, die by the sword." So what does that mean? This phrase is actually biblical, but today it is used more generally. It means that the way you treat others, especially if you're treating them violently or harmfully, keep that in mind. You can be treated eventually in the same way. So in other words, we can say that treat others the way you want to be treated. In Mrs. Halloran's case, on the other hand, she had a great dominance over the household. She ruled manipulatively, cruelly, and harshly. Being the mistress of a big house made her arrogant. You know what? She even wandered around wearing a crown. So I think it shows the extent of her pride. So we can conclude that Mrs. Halloran's sword was her arrogance, cruelty, and manipulation. These very traits prepared her own miserable ends. Because most likely somebody who is motivated by revenge push her down the stairs, right? At least that's my prediction. So let it be a reminder for us today. Be careful about what you do, because it may turn back to you eventually. And then in the story, Fancy comes. She is Mrs. Halloran's granddaughter, and she cries saying, "My crown." And it is really striking because instead of worrying about her grandmother, who is lying on the ground, probably dead, she looks like much more concerned about the crown. This actually shows the relationship between the grandmother and the granddaughter. Fancy doesn't see her as a loving family member, but more like a ruler. She wants to have the crown right now. The crown which represents the authority as an heir. At that moment, Fancy bolted down the stairs. And here appears our first word, to bolt. That means to move very fast, often because of fear or excitement. But I suppose here Fancy is more like excited rather than being frightened, because she has been waiting for that crown for too long, and now she can have it. So she is so excited, she ran down the stairs. And I think we can keep that word in mind. You know the meaning of the word thunderbolts, right? Thunderbolts. Remember how fast a thunderbolt can hit the ground. It can be easier with the word thunderbolts. Thunderbolts. How fast they strike on the ground. As an example from daily life, we can say, as soon as I smelled my favorite food from my room, I bolted into the kitchen. Bolted into the kitchen. I ran so fast. And then Mary Jane, Fancy's mother, calls out saying, "Fancy, dear, be careful. You will trip and fall." Trip is our second word. It means to lose your balance by knocking your foot against something, or to pull someone else to do this. For instance, I'm sure you experienced it in your own house. When a rug is folded and you don't notice, you might trip over it. But Fancy leaped down the last two steps, avoiding Mrs. Halloran, and tugged at the crown. She said it's talk. Here appears our third word, talk. Talk at. So it means to pull strongly or suddenly. Alright, I want to show you with a real life situation. Okay, this is plug, right? And this is the socket. And the plug is in the socket right now. And I talk at the plug till it came out of the socket. And that is called talk. Talk, okay? I talked out of the socket. The crown was stuck, remember? That's why the captain came to help Fancy and to check Mrs. Halloran's condition. For a minute he looked at her carefully, taking her wrist to feel her pulse, and then he stood up, shaking his head. Poor old lady. We understand that she's dead right now. He said to Fancy, I guess it's your crown. All right. Finally, Fancy gets her own crown. If you're curious about what happens next, well, it is all for this video and for this book. I highly recommend you reading The Sundial in full because there are many moments that make me think deeply about what people can do to maintain their authority. It's all for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the like button. See you in the next video, inshallah.